Catherine! Catherine!
Oh, what on earth's the matter, Bill?
The answers to all those questions she's going to ask us when she needs to know who she is and why she's here and what life's all about.
Oh, honey, she's only a few weeks old. We don't need to worry about that yet.
But we can't run away from it. She's going to have to know someday, and it's our job to teach her. And how do you teach something you're not really sure about yourself?
I've thought about that, but who really knows? We'll teach her the best we can. There are some things we feel pretty sure about. Don't we, Bill?
That dream shook me up a little bit. Yeah, there are other things, though, I wish we had answers for. Well, sweetheart, you've already started giving your old dad gray hairs. You're not even very old yet. You're so innocent now, so untouched by all the confusion and all the madness. Maybe it's you who has the answers. Have you just come from somewhere I don't know about?
You look troubled. Can we do anything to help?
Well, yes. I'm really concerned about my little girl.
What seems to be the problem?
She's growing up too fast.
How old is she?
6 weeks, this Thursday.
Time can race by pretty fast sometimes.
Well, it's not only that. She's going to want some concrete answers about things pretty soon.
What kind of things?
Oh, you know. Things like, where did I come from? Who am I really? Why am I here? What's it all for?
Why can't I do what I want with myself? It's my life and you only go around once?
Exactly. How'd you know?
Yeah, kids haven't changed much over the years. As a matter of fact, the really big questions haven't changed at all since the beginning of time.
Can you help me?
That kind of depends.
On what?
Upon how you feel about what I can tell you.
What do you mean?
Well, I've got some pretty remarkable answers for your questions, but whether or not you recognize it as truth is really up to you.
Wait a minute. I'm not sure if I can know if anything's true. How can anyone really know things like that?
Good point. First, you need to consider what I'll share with you deeply. See if it touches a responsive chord deep down. See if it rings true.
Then what?
Then ask.
Ask?
Bill, I think you already believe that God can answer the most important questions in the universe to your innermost satisfaction.
Of course. But will he really? Is it possible that, to me, he could actually...
Yes, believe me, he will answer your prayers. One of the seemingly difficult things about life is not remembering about things before we came here.
Before when?
Before we were born, when our spirit was with God.
Spirit? With God? What?
What are you so smiley about? Didn't you have kind of a rough night?
Oh, the first half was rough. The second half was wonderful.
Well?
I had this amazing dream. I met this terrific young man, all dressed in white. He was so wise and so understanding. Well, I told him my troubles and concerns about Catherine, and he gave me some answers. I felt so pleased, so good about what he told me.
And?
And I'm not sure I understand now all he said.
Oh?
But the answers were beautiful. They made me feel so good, so relieved. I wish there was a button to push to replay dreams.
Well, the next time you have a dream like that, please wake up and take notes. Oh, I know what you mean. Catherine's really a handful. Seems that raising children gets tougher all the time. But what do you do? No, she hasn't gotten any better. I took her temperature. Well, she looks well, but she's begun losing a little weight, and I've never seen a child so thirsty. We thought it might be the flu or something. Do you think we should take her in?
Mr. Whitaker, it's your wife.
What? It's Catherine. I'll be right there.
Bill, we live from day to day, moment to moment. Nothing is certain. Whether it's Catherine or your job or our marriage, there's no such thing as real security. It's hard sometimes to even hope.
Oh, honey.
Oh, just today I heard that Sandy and Rick are divorcing.
Not them.
And we got a letter from your brother in Arizona. Cutbacks or some crazy thing. He's out of work. And this morning, I was feeling sorry for everybody's problems and thinking how lucky we were to have each other and a healthy little girl.
You look troubled. Can we do anything to help?
Don't I know you?
I don't think we've met. We're missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Perhaps you've seen us around town.
Maybe that's it.
You do look kind of troubled. What's the problem?
I'm worried about my little girl. She's in the hospital.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is it?
Well, I'm really not sure yet, so my wife and I are just waiting. But the questions keep coming.
Questions?
Why did this happen to us? What did we do wrong? Why is life so uncertain?
You need some answers, huh?
Yeah. Have any you can spare me?
That kind of depends.
On what?
Upon how you feel about what we can tell you.
What do you mean?
Well, we've got some pretty remarkable information, but whether or not you recognize it as truth is up to you.
I don't mean to offend you, young man, but I've been to church many times, and the answers I get there are always concluded with, we can't really explain it that clearly, you just have to take it on faith. And if it's all the same to you, I'd rather not have a lecture on faith right now.
Well, I think we have some answers to your questions which you may never have heard before.
I respect your devotion, but I just can't take your word about these kinds of things.
You don't need to. Just let us share information with you to answer your questions, Study it out in your mind and see if it hits some responsive chord deep down. If it rings true,
And then what?
then ask.
Ask who?
Who do you think might be qualified to answer the most important questions in life to your innermost satisfaction?
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. What you're asking me to do is listen to your message and then ask God about its truth, and He will let me know. This really does sound like a lecture on faith.
Well, first things first. You said your daughter is ill. We have members of our church here who would be very happy to make things a little easier for you and your family now, if they could. We have answers to your questions which you may never have heard before. Let us share information with you to answer your questions. Study it out in your mind and see if it hits some responsive chord deep down. If it rings true.
What was the telephone number for those two young men?